The organization of governmental power within a state is a fundamental aspect of its political structure. Two prominent models that have emerged throughout history are the unitary system and the federal system. These systems represent contrasting approaches to distributing power between the central government and regional units. Understanding the characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses of each system is crucial for comprehending the diverse landscape of political organization across the globe. In a unitary system, power is primarily concentrated in the central government. Regional or local governments derive their authority from the central government and can be altered or abolished by it. This model emphasizes national unity and efficiency in decision-making. In contrast, a federal system divides power between a central government and constituent units, such as states or provinces. Both levels of government possess a degree of autonomy and exercise authority over specific policy areas. Federalism aims to balance the need for national unity with the desire for regional representation and responsiveness. This essay delves into a comparative analysis of unitary and federal systems, examining their defining features, real-world examples, advantages and disadvantages. By exploring these contrasting models, we can gain insights into the complex relationship between centralization and decentralization in modern governance. A unitary system is characterized by a centralized structure, where the ultimate authority resides in the national government. In this model, subnational units such as regions, provinces or municipalities are created by the central government and derive their powers from it. These subnational entities serve primarily as administrative arms of the central government, implementing policies and programs as directed. The central government in a unitary system possesses the power to amend or revoke the powers of subnational governments unilaterally. This hierarchical structure emphasizes national unity and allows for streamlined decision-making. On the other hand, a federal system establishes a constitutional division of powers between a central government and constituent units, often referred to as states, provinces, or cantons. Both the central government and the constituent units have their own spheres of authority, clearly defined in the Constitution. Federal systems are characterized by a significant degree of autonomy granted to the constituent units. They have their own legislative, executive, and judicial branches, enabling them to make laws, implement policies, and administer justice within their respective jurisdictions. The central government cannot unilaterally alter the powers or existence of the constituent units. The division of powers in a federal system is designed to ensure a balance between national and regional interests. It allows for diversity in policy approaches and fosters a sense of local representation and responsiveness. The distribution of power between the central government and regional units is a defining characteristic that distinguishes unitary and federal systems. In a unitary system, power is concentrated in the hands of the central government. While regional or local governments may exist, they derive their authority from the central government and are subordinate to it. This centralized approach allows for greater uniformity in policy implementation and can facilitate swift decision-making. However, it can also lead to a disconnect between the central government and the needs of diverse regions. Federal systems, in contrast, embrace decentralization by constitutionally dividing powers between the central government and constituent units. This division ensures that both levels of government have distinct areas of authority. For example, the central government may be responsible for national defense, foreign policy, and currency, while constituent units may have jurisdiction over education, healthcare, and local law enforcement. This distribution of power aims to strike a balance between national unity and regional autonomy. It allows for policy experimentation and innovation at the regional level, as constituent units can tailor policies to their specific needs and preferences. However, decentralization can also lead to challenges in coordinating national policies and may result in disparities in service provision across different regions. Section 4 Case Study: The Unitary System of the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom serves as a prime example of a unitary system in practice. While the UK encompasses England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, the central government in Westminster, London holds ultimate authority. Devolution has granted some degree of autonomy to Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, but it is essential to note that these powers are devolved, not constitutionally enshrined. The UK Parliament, consisting of the House of Commons and the House of Lords, is the supreme lawmaking body for the entire country. While Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland have their own legislatures with varying degrees of legislative authority, the UK Parliament retains the power to override their decisions or abolish them entirely. This centralized structure has been instrumental in maintaining national unity and facilitating coordinated policy responses. However, it has also faced criticism for not adequately addressing the unique needs and aspirations of the different nations within the UK. The Scottish independence referendum in 2014 highlighted the tensions that can arise in a unitary system when regional identities and aspirations are not fully accommodated. Section 5, Case Study, the Federal System of the United States. The United States stands as a prominent example of a federal system. The U.S. Constitution explicitly divides powers between the federal government and the 50 states. The federal government has enumerated powers, such as regulating interstate commerce, declaring war, and printing money. Powers not specifically granted to the federal government are reserved for the states, as enshrined in the 10th Amendment. This division of powers ensures that both the federal government and the states have distinct spheres of authority. Each state in the U.S. has its own constitution, legislature, governor, and court system. States have significant autonomy in areas such as education, healthcare, criminal justice, and marriage laws. This decentralized structure allows for policy diversity and experimentation, as states can tailor their laws and regulations to reflect the preferences of their citizens. However, federalism in the U.S. has also faced challenges, particularly in balancing national unity with states' rights. The Civil War, for instance, was a stark reminder of the tensions that can arise when state and federal authority come into conflict. Section 6, Advantages and Disadvantages, a Comparative Look. Both unitary and federal systems have their own sets of advantages and disadvantages. Unitary systems excel in promoting national unity and facilitating efficient decision-making. The centralized structure allows for greater uniformity in policy implementation and can lead to a more cohesive national identity. However, unitary systems can also be perceived as less responsive to regional diversity and may suffer from a disconnect between the central government and the needs of local communities. Federal systems, on the other hand, are well suited for accommodating regional diversity and fostering a sense of local representation. The division of powers ensures that regional interests are taken into account and that policies can be tailored to specific needs. However, federalism can also lead to challenges in coordinating national policies and may result in disparities in service provision across different regions. The potential for conflict between the central government and constituent units is also a concern in federal systems. Section 7. Suitability of each system, factors to consider. The suitability of a unitary or federal system for a particular country depends on a variety of factors, including its size, diversity, and historical context. Unitary systems are often favored in smaller, more homogeneous countries where there is a strong sense of national unity and a desire for centralized decision-making. In such contexts, a unitary system can promote efficiency and prevent fragmentation. Federal systems, on the other hand, are often more appropriate for larger, more diverse countries where there are significant regional differences in culture, language, or economic development. Federalism allows for greater regional autonomy and can help to mitigate potential conflicts by providing a mechanism for addressing regional grievances.